All right, guys, to make an Ojo de Dios, I'm going to need 2 sticks and I'm going to glue them perpendicular, which means they're exactly 90 degrees apart. But because I want to do such a great job, I'm going to go ahead and mark the middle of my sticks and make sure I'm starting at 0. These are about 4.5 inches, so that's going to be half of 4 is 2 and half of a half is 1/4. So I'm going to mark my sticks at 2 1/4. Now I want to glue those, like I said, perpendicular. For me, I'm going to use hot glue because it dries quickly. I've already heated this for about 5 minutes. A little dot right here. Wipe it off. Now this does have to cool before it's really strong, so I need to just hold it tight and be patient. I have chosen one color to be the center of my Ojo de Dios. And if you have a buddy, that's the very best for tying this on. I'm going to leave as much as I can out here on the end because I need that for my weaving. To tie a knot, it's just like when you tie your shoe. Cross over, tuck under, pull tight. Now, if you have a buddy and they could put their finger right here and hold it tight while you tie this again, that's the best. I'm by myself, so we're gonna just see how I can do. Ooh. Not the worst. All right, I just did a crossover, tuck through again, pull it tight. And if this isn't perfect, it's okay. It's not gonna ruin your project. Don't worry. Once I have my first piece of yarn tied around my perpendicular popsicle sticks, I'm ready to start my Ojo de Dios. I might choose to trim this a little shorter. I'm not gonna trim it yet, and I'll show you why. Now, as I start, I do need to cover right in the middle of my sticks. So I'm just gonna wrap it 2 times through each of the sticks. 1, 2, 1, 2, and here we go. Now, I'm gonna wrap it from the back. I know this is the back because I can see my tail of where I tied my yarn on. To wrap it from the back, I'm gonna come from underneath every time. Since it comes out at this stick, I have to go around the one above my yarn. So I'm gonna go around, and then I twirl it to the next one. It comes underneath this one, I go around, twirl to the next stick, comes underneath. That's why I leave my tail for just a minute so I can just go over it and kind of keep it nice and tucked in, and then I'll trim it. Now, I've said when I wrap it on the front side to wrap it high and pull it down. You need to do the same thing here. You can hear how snug I like to get that. On the back side, these should just line up like little lines. If you're in a panic that you're not doing it correctly, turn it over, check your work. We should see a diamond. Yeah, that looks really good. If your diamond has any parts that are overlapping or too loose, you should probably undo it and try again, because every time you do it, you'll just get better and faster and better and faster. Under to the next stick. That one's starting to be a problem. I'll make sure and cut it off when I run out of yarn. Oops, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to go one more. I barely do, but it might be hard to hold on to, so I might have to undo one, we'll see. One option would be to glue this on, but then the back is gonna be messy. If you do it the way I show you here, then you might be able to make it two-sided where it looks good on the front and on the back. I'm gonna go ahead and use a white one next. So I already have some pieces of yarn cut. Now I'm holding this firm with my thumb because I'm going to use my wrap of my new color to both hold my old one tight and hold my new yarn tight on there. So I'm just gonna put this yarn across it wrap it in the direction that I was already wrapping. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sometimes I go 2 or 3 times. Okay, it's nice and firm, like I can pull really hard and it's not going anywhere. This will be fine until I get this one wrapped and I get clear done to go back and trim it up. So I might want to turn it over, maybe push this down a little. Nice. Okay, I come underneath of this stick, so I'm going to go under to the next stick and wrap. Under on the next stick and wrap. Might want to check your work. Looks pretty good. Oh, I ended with a short one again. That's okay. Now I get to decide if I'm going to continue on the way I have been, or if I want to make it extra fancy, I'm going to do what I call wrap it backwards. So I'm going to show you how to wrap it backwards right here with a piece of black yarn. Here's my black, and I have to go ahead and just wrap it around this white one that I've already done and back around itself so that it stays on real tight. Sometimes this takes a couple tries and it can be frustrating, artists. That's what makes us so good though, is we persevere. We keep at it anyways. Now to wrap it backwards, you need to go in the opposite direction that you did the first time. I'm going to take a minute and trim these. I can trim them better even after I'm done, but that'll work for now. Now let's see. This time I'm going to put the front side up and I'm going to wrap it the same way that I did before, and it's going to look strange, but trust the process. I'm coming out underneath, so I slide it down, go around. This one I have to pick up just a little bit to hide some of that white. That's part of being an artist too. You should problem solve constantly. This feels kind of like a fidget spinner when I just leave it there and go around. You can see just barely that black starting to peek out. I want it to peek out a little more, so I'm going to do a second layer of black with the backwards wrap. So hold this down, wrap it a couple times. Uh-oh, this one feels tricky today. Okay. Now I can tell this one is higher on my sticks than over here. So when I come back around, I might go across the top of that again. Because even though there's rules of how to do stuff, you have to, every project's unique. The way each person does it is unique. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. I have my first and last ends of black from that first section of yarn. Now, you might have saw a little peak on the back, but here's the front, and it gives it a whole new dimension. Let me zoom in. Okay. Now, the neat thing about this is it's two-sided. When I go back to wrapping the other way, it's going to look like this part pokes out and the other part sits behind it. So let's turn it back to the back. And I have to choose my next color. I think it's gonna be, I'm gonna go white again. Sticking with 2 or 3 colors is total. Okay, let me wrap it one more time. I'm at the back of it, so I wanna come out at the bottom of the sticks, go around. The next one, bottom and around. Turn to the next, bottom and around. Okay, starting to peek out. I can't see it very much. I can see it a little bit right here. If mine aren't laid perfectly, I can try to finesse them a little with my fingers. If they're too far off, I'd want to undo them because I want my project to be so nice. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and do one more white just because, well, I'm going to back this one up. I'm going to do one more white so I can see it on the back side. So, okay, as I come out, I'm going to go under and around, under and around. It's not gonna make it. All right, I'm pretty happy with this. I feel like if I did one more layer of pink, it would kind of make it pop. So I'm gonna try that. Or I might could choose one layer of black and then plan my tassels to be pink. But who knows? I have a pink right here, and I am gonna switch again. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it, what I call wrap it backwards. So I'm gonna look at the top and wrap it this time. I'm gonna start my yarn on the back. The back does not have a diamond in the middle right here. It's another way to tell. Oopsies. I kind of like that you guys see me struggling once in a while because it's not always easy, you know. Okay, now that I'm here to the front, or the side with the diamond, I'm gonna wrap it backwards. It means I come underneath the stick, go to the next stick, and around. Okay, I really do like that. I feel like I have room for another piece of yarn. I just have to decide on my color. You know what? I am going to do a piece of black because I did kind of have my heart set on hot pink tassels. And I'm gonna wrap this one, I think the same as my hot pink. So I'll backwards wrap with it. No, I lied. Front wrap. Front wrap. Goodness sakes, I'm getting silly. Must be my bedtime. Just kidding, it's the middle of the day. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it back to the back side. I don't have a diamond. I wrap it around one stick, go to the next one, around. I pull it tight and slide it down every single time. Now when you get really good at this and you get faster, you might decide that you want to cut your yarn a little bit longer. But for the first one especially, I recommend it's only about as long as one arm to the middle of your chest. Okay, I don't love this side, but I love this side. You can't even hardly see that little touch of pink down there. I'm gonna go ahead and use the tiniest dab of hot glue on the back to hold this. All right, I know that the silver part is what melts the glue. It gets really hot, so I don't want to touch that. Push down and wipe. Now as I push this over, sometimes I like to use a tool like my scissors. Wait a second, I forgot which one I'm gluing. Oh darn, it's this one. I'm just gonna push my black yarn into that and hold it down until it cools. All right guys, great job. Then I can go ahead and just trim off all of my little pieces, and stay tuned for the video of how to make the tassels.